Banana bread waffles with easy ingredients that most everyone has hanging around the house. So let's get started. First, we're gonna add our ingredients to a large bowl here. We've got flour, 1 1/4 cups, and 3/4 of a cup of sugar. We'll also add a teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, and that's a half teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a half teaspoon of nutmeg, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, as well as some chopped pecans, and that is optional. You can use walnuts or anything that you really enjoy. You're going to stir everything around, kind of get it mixed well, and then we're going to move on to our wet ingredients, which being banana nut bread. We're going to start with our bananas. Usually you want to use I wouldn't call them bad bananas, but the more overripe, I would say, the more ripe they are, the better they are for banana bread. So if you have some laying around and you're thinking of chunking them, don't make this bread out of it. So smash them up well with a fork. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not really a puree. You're just kind of mashing it around so you can mix in the other ingredients. So we'll mash in. When we have this kind of a smooth consistency, we're going to add a few things here to our wet ingredients. We'll have there you go. That's what it's supposed to look like there. Okay, we're going to add in some oil. That's a half a cup. We're going to add in vanilla. That is 1 teaspoon, 2 large eggs, and a half cup of sour cream or Greek yogurt, whatever you have around. We're going to kind of mix this in well. My bowl isn't very large, so watch me try not to make a mess. That's some of the fun with it anyway, I think. So you're going to stir all of this around really well. This is the fun part, I think. Okay, now we've got this mixed. We're going to add our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients now. That looks delicious. Let's get that all stirred in together until it gets a nice consistency. It's going to be a little lumpy and clumpy, but that's because you have some little chunks of banana there, and of course the pecans or nuts if you have them. So do not worry about trying to get this perfectly smooth. We're just trying to get everything worked in together, all the wet ingredients incorporated with the dry ingredients there. All right, when you've got that going, we're ready to make our waffles. You can use whatever you like. I use the little mini dash. They're really small mini waffle makers, and this recipe makes about 15 of these. So if you use a larger waffle maker, of course, you could probably make less waffles, but bigger. So spray them with a little spray, and be careful not to overfill. I use a 1/4 cup for these mini waffles, a 1/4 cup scoop, and just kind of gently put it in to where it's not really going around to the edges just yet, and then drop it down. And my particular waffle maker, the light turns off and it starts to steam a bit whenever it gets close to being done, but just kind of follow the instructions on whatever waffle maker that you do have. Be careful, it is hot. You're going to kind of pick up your waffles whichever way you normally do that with a waffle maker, and that's it. You have banana bread waffles. I like to put them in the freezer, and they toast up really nicely.